Welcome everyone to another episode of Open Mic with the MVP Marco. I am obviously your host, the MVP Marco. Coming back again with another special guest. But before we get to my special guest, I'd like to just say this is obviously brought to you by the Pod Foundation, which is my home of all homes. That includes the Chick Foley show, which I am on as well. I'm actually recording tonight at some point, so yeah, I'm doing a double duty tonight. But anyway, that is also the Turnbuckle Tavern, who I also do a show for every Thursday, 8 o'clock on YouTube. You can watch us live, just running down the week in WWE. It's also the Extra Cooler show. Nick, who is also known as Extra Cooler, has been doing pretty big things as of late, just designing stuff for, celebrities left and right with his artwork. So congrats to him. He's a great dude. Hope to have him back on the show at some point. And then we have coming down the aisle with J-Bone, who's also my co-host on the show that we do, the Raw Down on Turnbuckle Tavern. But enough of me. Let's bring in my guest. This is a two-time. I think this is my second only two-time guest. She's a very busy woman, and she's very hard to nail down. So I'd like to bring her in right now. The Queen G.
I do. I move the sky for you. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, you're. No, I was. As soon as I think we talked about this on the last time you were on. The Ninja Turtles movie wasn't out yet. It was just like an idea. It was something that just popped up, and they were doing like the kind of the guerrilla campaign for it. Just posters everywhere and stuff like that. And we were like, "What the hell is this?" We didn't know it was going to be animated, live action. We knew Seth Rogen was doing it, which obviously was going to have that type of comedy, but we didn't know what it was. But the first thing I thought in my mind was like, as soon as that movie comes out and there's enough time after it, I got to get her back on so we can do like a deep dive and then catch up on everything you've been doing, because you've been very busy as of late. But yeah, that's I see you finally made it.
I made it. Yes, I'm here.
So what was it like earlier? Why were you so like, almost didn't make it to the show tonight? What happened?
Well, it's all good stuff. I've started to do more things on social media and, trying to balance all the social media platforms, long form content, short form content. And then on top of that, brands and sponsorships, right? So I'm getting ready to go out of town again, because I've been celebrating August the whole entire month because it's my birthday month. And I'm getting ready to go out of town again. So all of a sudden, all these like sponsorship stuff is coming in, and I was just trying to get tier like the most important ones done first. And I was scheduled to do some long form content, some editing, but then I got a gift from Nickelodeon, so I was like, "Well, I have to put them first, right? I don't want to lose that." So I've just been moving, but I'm not complaining. It's definitely good to be busy, and next week I'll be on vacation, so I'll have that much needed break. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a lot going on. It's good.
Yeah, I've seen that. I definitely want to dive into some of the stuff you have been doing, because I've been seeing, like you said, you've been doing a lot more like long form videos and stuff like that, and content on your page. A lot to do with the TMNT, that whole world and stuff like that. So very exciting things. I mean, it was I think like the last time you were on, it wasn't that crazy for you as of yet.
No, it wasn't.
But now just like, I mean, I'm not going to take credit, but I'm joking. I don't think this show did anything.
It was all you, dude. It was all you. Thank you so much.
I mean, well,
I appreciate
it. No, but I seen that you mentioned Nickelodeon, and I think when I did reach out to you, you actually will hop into the movie. You actually were you were in attendance. They pretty much invited you out. Tell us the experience. How did that? Go?
That was definitely a unique experience. We got invited. Well, I said we because I brought my brother, but I got invited, and I brought him along with me because he's a Ninja Turtle fan too. We got to go see the screening. It was either like 4 or 5 days prior to the release date to the public, and we got to see it at Paramount Theaters in Hollywood. So they had this whole big, you know, festival thing going on. So it was just really exciting to be in that environment with Ninja Turtle fans and Paramount. And then, like, usually, you know, you have to pay a little bit to talk to Kevin Eastman. He was just walking around, him and I want to say Jim Crow, the co-director or whatever of Mutant Mayhem. So, you know, we got to sit and talk to, you know, Eastman in like a relaxed, chill environment.
That's awesome.
It was really cool. And then to see the movie before everyone, and I still had tickets to see it like the day before the release, but so I got to see it twice before the release. But, you know, big shout out to Nickelodeon, Paramount Pictures. They are really been taking care of me, and it's just really cool to get to do all this stuff. And then, like, I'm nobody. I'm just a chick who loves the Ninja Turtles. They just,
I mean, yeah,
wanna, like, give me stuff. So I'm like, this is my younger self would just be ecstatic, you know, like, no way. It's cool. Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like I said, I think I want to definitely get into like some of the, you know, the franchise like now compared to, you know, when it was back when it first started, and like the fever of it anyway. But what was it? What did you get to ask Eastman any questions? Like, how much? I mean, I'm assuming he was like not heavily involved in the movie, but definitely somewhat involved in it.
Yeah, a little bit. I have a question that I want to ask him, but whenever I see like celebrities, right? Like, I'm just weird. Like, I just want to say hey, and I don't want to be that person who's just like all over them and ask, you know, talking their ears off. So I got to see him the weekend before at San Diego Comic-Con. So I had talked to him then about Mutant Mayhem, and then he had also talked a lot about Mutant Mayhem, his thoughts at the Comic-Con. So by the time I saw him in Hollywood, I really didn't have anything else to talk to him about. I do have a pressing question. I want to know, like, if it bothers him anyway, like, or if he cares anyway, when you have all these different versions of what he created, you know, like, I'm curious. Nickelodeon has several different takes on the Ninja Turtles, you know, all the different cartoons and the movie. I'm just curious, you know, does he care at all, or is he so far gone in the business sense, right? You know, he's getting paid regardless.
Exactly.
So if he cares, you know, I've always wanted to ask him that, but when I saw him in Hollywood, it was just kind of like, yo, he's just walking up, like, no one's talking to him, taking pictures. Like, it was so chill. I just was like, yo, like, I just saw you at Comic-Con, and he was like, oh, what's up? And then, you know, we just talked a little bit briefly, and we kept it moving. So I think that helps too, that he's so down to earth. Like, he's easy to talk to. You can talk to him like a friend. You don't talk to him like somebody like you worship. I mean, I don't worship him, but, you know, like, people who are in awe of celebrities. So I don't know. It's just been, it's been cool. It's been a lot.
He's actually I think around here, Northampton, Massachusetts, is where him and Peter actually
so you guys just see him all the time, right? Like, that's the hometown.
I mean, I wish, but the actual city of Northampton, I believe, during 2020, around 2021, they got a bunch of you know, money from like the, you know, COVID relief and stuff, and they were putting in a bid. I'm not sure if you heard about this. They're putting in a bid to repaint the manhole covers.
Oh,
represent the. I don't think it ever went through. I think they kind of. I think
no,
they, you know.
I didn't know that they were bidding on it.
Yeah,
but there was like a big news thing that said the city approved and they got this big project that they're going to do that, and I just thought that was
yeah, they haven't
really
done it yet
cool.
then. Yeah, so but yeah, that was I was like then I obviously did my research and I was like, oh man, they're like, I mean, they're around in like New Hampshire as well. Like Peter and Kevin, they both traveled around that area, and that's where
They're
it all
like
originated
gods.
from, here in Massachusetts. So I mean, but yeah,
Yeah,
they've been around for
that's
forever.
that's a huge like accomplishment to be just adored by their hometown and the
Yeah.
people. And I believe next year is next year, or is it this year at the end of the year, but they've got a 40th anniversary coming up. No, it's got to be
I think
next year.
next year, 84,
Yeah,
right, is when the
right.
Turtles were. Yeah. So like I
Yes.
said, it's, I think like you said, when you're going to ask him that question, if he actually cares, if there's so many different variations, he's probably just happy for the fact that, people are still celebrating this franchise for
Right.
40
freaking
years.
years.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
You guys are
That's
gonna have
insane to think.
like parades and stuff out there. I'm
Oh, we should.
definitely going to Granite Con, right?
Nice.
That's the Comic-Con in Massachusetts.
Yep.
It's in New Hampshire, right?
Yep.
So I'll definitely be there because I know that's just gonna be like I can't imagine what they're trying to plan. Everyone associated with TMNT, like The Last Ronin and Mutant Mayhem and the voices of the cartoons, like they're all gonna be there, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be a huge event. I'm really excited.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to take a travel up there. It's a few hours away from me, so it's not too much of a
Yeah,
hard travel.
I'm
But
in
yeah, I'm gonna have to do that.
California, so you can make it.
That is true. I don't know why I'm complaining about
try to travel,
a few
bro.
hours.
That's like a 4-hour flight for me.
Oh my god! But yeah. So when you're talking about like the experience that you had there, and I seen like like I just see the video actually before we hopped on, that you actually got sent the the controller, the Xbox controller with the scented pizza. When they first announced that, I was like, this has to be some type of like joke or prank or like one off, like only one person's going to be able to get this, or they just made it just as like a thing for the movie. But no, people are actually getting it, like yourself. They're actually sending it. Have you seen how is it? Like, what is,
are they
how weird is
to
it?
the public yet? I think they're coming out. I know they're gifted to influencers and all that kind of stuff. But I do think they're coming out soon. And yeah, that was one of the things that just had me stressing out. Not stressing, but just like moving, because I wasn't planning on getting it today, and I have like full on plans for the rest of the week. So I was like, oh my God, I need to bust this out quick. Because I don't think they know how long it takes when they ship me stuff, for me to get it. So I just didn't want them, hanging around like, is she gonna post something about this or not? So I was like, let me get this out of here. But same thing, when I saw the advertisement, it was like, really? Do we need a scented controller? Like, I was like, okay.
That's such a weird
I mean,
thing.
what kind of scent is it going to smell like? Is it going to smell like anchovies or something, or something weird that the Ninja Turtles would like?
Yeah.
But now that I have it in my hands, it's really neat. It's a light, like pepperoni type of scent,
Okay.
I was trying to clean up and I spilled a little bit. So now my entire game room smells like pepperoni.
Is it like an oil? Like an,
yeah,
is it like the
oil. Yeah, and it's like a little diffuser. Yeah, it's if you're a Ninja Turtle fan, like it's a cool thing to add to your collection.
I wonder how that would be, like just playing while you're playing a game and just having that, like, do you have to turn it on? Is it timed? Is it like those like air fresheners that like?
Yeah, you press the button and it's got its own timer, and it just every now and then sends out a scent like a diffuser. So I think it's a bit distracting, dude. I'm on a meal plan. Like, I can't be smelling pizza while I'm gaming.
I would assume that would work when you're like, playing like a really frustrating game, and
like,
you're just
a relaxation.
literally just gonna toss the controller across, or like just whip it and smash it, and then just like that aroma comes up and it just like kind of relaxes, and you're like, especially playing like the older Ninja Turtles games, like the NES ones. Oh my God!
Like the first one, the water levels. Yeah,
so awful. Yeah, see that would help. I would I would hope anyway. Maybe that's why they
I'll
had
let
that
you
going.
know. I'm gonna try it tomorrow when the DLC for Shredder's Revenge drops, and
Nice.
see if it relaxes me during the chaos.
Oh yeah, definitely. The I mean, I've been on Shredder's Revenge. I've been playing it recently. I mean, it's one of my favorite
Yeah,
Turtles
typical
games.
side-scrolling beat 'em up. I
Yep.
thought that game, it does a wonderful job paying tribute to the old school games with a
Yeah.
newer look. So
Yep.
it's definitely one of those games with the Ninja Turtles that just doesn't get old.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. And I actually downloaded some DLC for Injustice 2.
Oh, let's
It's that
go.
DC game. Yeah, you know who's on it. The
Heck yeah, I do.
yeah,
I mean, when people
they're all-
ask me, "Have you played with Donatello?" I'm like, "Bro, who are you talking to right now?"
it's I love it because they look like the movie, like the live action movie Turtles, which I think is amazing. And I like that they didn't put them in like a Mortal Kombat because I don't want to see turtles like
Like
all
they did
bloody
in Street Fighter.
yeah, no, exactly like that. Yeah, exactly. That's I mean, it's still not that not that the turtles aren't like adult and they do have like like the last Ronin kind of goes into that realm, but like I mean, I still want to see them as lovable
Yeah.
turtles that are just fighting crime. Nothing violent in that sense. But
Nothing crazy. I would love for them, Injustice, to do like a remake or do like another one. I think
yeah,
we're long overdue for that because it was so well received, and
mm,
we hadn't had the turtles in that type of look and that type of style. Like we had Tournament Fighter, um,
yeah, yeah.
but in a more modern type way at that time. Like I think they should give us something else.
Yeah, definitely. I wonder if there's any chance with James Gunn, who's taken over, the DC Universe movies. And he's obviously, really good with like if you watch Guardians of the Galaxy, he's really good with those like lovable characters like with Rocket Raccoon, Groot,
Yes.
and all that stuff. I mean, it probably will never happen, but it'd be awesome if he kind of like impose the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles into the DC universe, kind of like the Injustice games.
I
I
would
think
not be
that'd be
mad
pretty
at
cool
that.
if they
Yeah,
did that.
that would be awesome. I think you should pitch that. I think that's a
I,
really
I,
good idea.
I mean, like I said, I think he do a great job. Like he does an awesome job at like those like really offbeat, characters.
Yeah.
Not the humans, but like the like I said, those weird characters. He does a really good job at making you like feel for him and love him and stuff like that. And I think he do a great job if he like it could
Yeah.
be a cameo. It doesn't have to be a full on like movie.
Right.
Just like have
Like
him
a
show
whole
up and
on.
like
Yeah, just them
something.
coming in, and we'd be like, ah,
Yeah, maybe like in the when they do like their the last movie with all the superheroes are in one movie, and maybe they just show up and help fight for a little bit. Something I don't know.
I
We'll
love
see.
it.
Maybe
I think
I'm gonna
that's a
write a
great
letter. I
idea.
think I'm gonna
Yeah,
try to
please,
see if that.
please do. CC me on that.
Um, but let's get into the movie. So, um, first of all, what did you think? First and foremost.
I was pleasantly surprised. If I know myself, um, and I do know myself. I was not excited about the movie, only because it just wasn't what I wanted. I wanted more of a mature film.
Mhm.
Um, but I walked out of that theater thinking, wow, Nickelodeon, I think they did a really good job with giving something that the adults could, get with. With Ice Cube and the some of the verbiage that he was using, some of the things that we're saying, some of the
Yeah.
jokes, right? They were adult jokes. Even some of the action, the way that they,
Mm.
like the no diggity scene, like that
Yeah.
was a really dope ass scene,
Love that.
but still be entertaining for children, which is,
Yep.
what Nickelodeon wants. That's essentially their target audience. But you could
Mhm.
see how they didn't want to throw away, the adult followers on this movie, especially knowing that there are so many adults that are waiting for this film and do not want to see it fail.
Yep.
I was really, really, really happy. Like I walked out of there smiling and I thought they did a really, really good job. Now there are some things that like I was like, well, for instance, it took me probably about 2 minutes before I got over Donatello's voice. Like, okay, so he's not he's the only one that hasn't hit puberty. I get it, but he was so damn cute, you know? So I was like, oh my God, Donatello is adorable. I don't have to like him, but my teenage self would totally have a crush on that Donatello. So I was happy with him. I was kind of like, this is weird. The backstory with Splinter. We've never had a story where he was just kind of like a nobody, you know? He's always been either Splinter who knew and ninjutsu, or he was Hamato Yoshi. And so for him to kind of just be like just a square dad was hard for me to swallow. I didn't really care for that, but he made up for it. You know, he came through later as Clutch and saved his boys. So I got over it. I don't have a lot negative things to say. I have some things that I was like, that's different, but at the end of the day, I think it was a good movie, and I believe most of the Turtle fans are really, really happy with it.
Yeah, definitely. Did you pick up on anything like in the movie, like any like nuances, any like Easter eggs?
Yeah, I picked up a few. I need to go into YouTube and watch the people that really researched it and found all this stuff. But it was really cool with the Laird sign for the restaurant. I thought that was awesome. The Go Ninja Go music that came on in the car.
That was good.
You know, so there was quite a few that I picked up that I think that's also helped the older fans, because we could see the new movie paying tribute to the old movie and, you know, respect. Like you should, right? There wouldn't be this movie without the original Turtles. So it was cool. And I think I went and saw it 3 times. And, you know, each time I was in there like, you know, what am I missing? What am I missing? And just trying to catch. But I think there's like 28 or 30 goose eggs, and I didn't see that many.
Oh yeah. I've seen Eastman, obviously the high school, Eastman High.
Right, yeah.
That's the name of the high school. I may have been just because I always try to like read into too much stuff and try to like over analyze things, but it seemed to me like each turtle had a different art style to them that obviously they represented their individual selves, but they also represented, as you said at the beginning, kind of bringing it back, the different versions of the Ninja Turtles over the years. So if you go back and watch, now you're probably gonna have to go back and watch it.
I'm happy to.
Leonardo looked more, his face looked more like the original live action movie, like the shape of his face.
Yeah.
Raphael was kind of more of the brooding CGI version movie.
Yeah.
And then Donatello and Raphael were the 2 versions of like the Nickelodeon cartoons.
Yeah.
Or you go, or actually, you know what? Donatello's kind of like he kind of looked like the older, like the 80s cartoon. And Michelangelo was more of the like the Nickelodeon style. So like I said, maybe I was reading into it too much, but they all look different. And the one that really popped out to me was Leonardo, because he had the same if you go back and watch the old Ninja Turtles movie, he had like literally the same like face almost as Leonardo in that movie.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, maybe they're kind of like, I'm not sure if they did that on purpose.
Oh, they had to.
Or they just did that. I was like, maybe they're representing all the different turtles over the years, but within each one. And then obviously I went into the deep dive of you probably heard like the reasons why they really didn't get into that. Why Splinter gave each one of them their weapons, why they represent each one. Have you seen this like conspiracy theory that they have?
Oh yeah, and I think it's a good one.
Yeah, it's I mean it makes sense with all their personalities and the, you know, obviously like Leonardo, he's the only one that has a kind of like a sharper weapon. Yeah, that he can like actually stab people with, but he doesn't because he's controlled. Like Raphael, you can't give that to him because he'll probably stab somebody.
He's got a defensive weapon.
Yeah, he has a defensive. So he has short range, so he can't go. You know, he has to actually go in and fight.
He's got anger issues. He doesn't need an offensive weapon.
Exactly. And then like Michelangelo with the, him being kind of like scatterbrained and, the honor
Yet
of the
the most
nunchuck
skilled.
that's you have to be, I mean, I've tried them before. They definitely hurt if you do get hit with them. So you definitely have to be skilled. And obviously Donatello, him being the smartest,
give a boy a stick.
He get a stick. Yeah, that's it. Just what do I do with this? I got to figure out. I mean, I can figure out all these other types of things, but now I got to figure. And they kind of showed it on the movie.
Yeah,
like
they
did. He's just like, how the hell did I use this thing?
Right? He's like, what am I gonna do with this?
So yeah, I thought it was.
I thought they did. I thought that they recovered the lack of, let's say, like screen time for Donatello in the past movies.
Yes.
Especially like 2007. I mean, he had anything. Like he's never really had so many lines. And in this movie, like I might be a little biased. He was the star, but he had like a lot of lines. Like he talked as much as Leonardo did. So I was really impressed with that. Like, dude, my boy is, up there in the top tier. Yeah.
They do, like on the past movies, they do usually focus on like the relationship really with like Leonardo or Raphael. Yeah. Kind of like Michelangelo and Donatello, kind of like the, the back like characters or like the co-stars or whatever. But on this movie, you're right. It did seem like they were more of the focus. Yeah.
But I do think that they I feel like they fell off a little bit on Michelangelo.
Yes.
Because we really didn't get to see his personality, the party side, like the crazy. It came out that one scene with him and Mondo Gecko when they were, going back and forth.
Yeah.
But I hope in the next movie that we get to see more of Michelangelo's personality come out. Because I think they did a great job with Leo, Roth, and Donnie. But, I felt like Mikey's personality is kind of like an afterthought, like, I don't know, maybe because technically he's the youngest. So he was just kind of there. But, everyone likes the party dude. So I was like, dude, hook my boy up with some lines. Like, we want to see... We want to see that, that side come out a little bit more, but I don't know. That's what I thought.
Would you think of like the characters as far as like the bad guys? Like if you watch obviously the older cartoons and stuff, like all those, Mondo Gecko, Superfly or Baxter, like they're kind of well on this movie they're two separate people, but on the original they're on this they're two separate people, but in the original Baxter Stockman turns into the Fly. So they kind of kept it separate on this one. But what did you think of like them being like kind of good guys as opposed to being bad guys always?
No, I didn't like that at all. Rocksteady and Bebop, they're Rocksteady and Bebop. They're Shredder's minions. So for them to be on Team Turtle is I'm not having it, dude. I don't like it at all. And as far as Gecko and Ray Fillet, they've always been good, so that's cool. But Leatherhead over there, Wingnut, Scumbag, all that, they need to go to their side. So I'm thinking when Shredder, right? Because I'm assuming the way that they ended the first movie that when we have a sequel, they better not mess that up.
Yeah, exactly.
That will have a Shredder and he will recruit his minions. They need to be over there. Like, dude, especially Rocksteady, dude. I'm not doing that. I'll write Seth Rogen and Jim Crow an aggressive email. I mean, like, I understand you guys are trying to do your own story, but that part ain't it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm hoping we get an Usagi Yojimbo appearance in the next movie. For those that don't know, Samurai Rabbit. That's all you need to know. Go look it up. He's probably one of the most badass characters that they have on there because samurais are awesome anyway. So
yeah, that's my guy.
There you go, right there. That's it. Yeah, he's Usagi Yojimbo is one of the. I'm assuming he'll pop up in the next movie. But yeah,
as long as they do it right, I was not really feeling the look of Ray Fillet and Mondo Gecko. Like Ray Fillet through the comics, cartoons, toys has always been a very confident dude and looked confident. You know, he was big, he was strong. And in Mutant Mayhem, he was just singing all the time, right? I mean, it's like, why are you just singing your name all the time, dude? Like, this is not Ray Fillet. So, but I mean, they've already sketched that out, so I guess that's the look. But if they're gonna do Usagi Yojimbo, he needs to look like a master in what he does. Like, right? Because Usagi, he doesn't play games. So please do that right.
Did you? I know we talked about this last time. The Last Ronin. Did you? I know you aren't too like big on it. Have you turned a page at all? Or are you still lukewarm to the Last Ronin storyline?
I have made a turn, and the reason for that is when I briefly got to talk with Kevin Eastman, and I was telling him, dude, I am stressed. Okay, this series of you Ben Bishop killing off my guys is not a good look. And Kevin was like, look at me calling him Kevin. Mr.
I know, right? You're best friends right now.
I have talked to him a few times, so I feel like I've earned that. But respect. So Mr. Eastman, he said there's so much going on with the Ninja Turtle franchise that you have to look at everything as its own universe, right?
Okay.
So The Last Ronin is a Ninja Turtle universe where there's one turtle and then there was no turtles left. So like in my heart, there's other universes, right, of the Ninja Turtles. And so I've made peace with that. And so I dug off on the sequel, The Lost Years. And once I got past that, I mean, it really is an interesting story. Now, I'm not completely on board with these 4 new Ninja Turtles. I feel like they need to earn my love and respect. They're strangers to me, but I am open-minded and enjoying where that universe, this series is going. And they just finished. I think we just got our last issue on the Lost Years, and so now we're getting ready to get the next series, which the 4 new turtles are teenagers. So I don't know. It's kind of cute.
And it seems like they are going like full force with The Last Ronin because they are coming out with a video game.
Yes.
It looks like it's a third-person action type game, which I'm very, very excited for. So hopefully that'll, bring some more eyes to the product. And you kind of brought it.
Good.
Yeah, no, you brought something up too that we can kind of circle back on. You talked about crossover things. So we on the Chick Foley show, we had this conversation a while back about like, the crossover when they take like with wrestling figures, for instance, they used to do crossovers with like Ninja Turtles. They did one back then where they had like the Ultimate Warrior was a Ninja Turtle. There was a Macho Man one. There was a John Cena and Undertaker. So like I think like each turtle represented one. So like and then they did a Ghostbusters one where they had like The Rock was like one of the Ghostbusters and John Cena, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I think like the Undertaker was Slimer or whatever. How do you feel about those crossovers? Like, do you like when they do like crossovers with like turtles? Because they have like the Stranger Things 2-packs that they have out now, which I think is pretty cool because I'm a Stranger Things fan.
Oh, so are you?
I love Stranger Things. And like they have like you just spoke of the Street Fighter crossover with that. So like, how do you like? What are your thoughts on like the when they cross over?
I love it. Like, I like it. I think it's cool. I like to use the word cool, so you might have to edit that out. But I like how these different universes collide, and especially when they fit. Like I am really enjoying reading the Street Fighter Ninja Turtle crossover. The 4th issue I think just came out today. That's what I picked up. Usagi Yojimbo and Ninja Turtles have been crossing over for years.
Yep.
When they did the Ghostbusters. I am also reading the Stranger Things Ninja Turtles. That one, I'm having a difficult time really grasping it because I never got into Stranger Things.
Yeah.
So I don't have that relationship with the characters that a lot of people have. But with the Ninja Turtles being it, and they've got these aliens and stuff, like it's just something we've never seen with Ninja Turtles, you know, like an alien. So yeah, I love it. I mean, technically the Ninja Turtles have been crossing over for decades, you know, with Playmates when they've been doing all these different turtles and all these different costumes and as different characters. I enjoyed the Ninja Turtles and Batman. I thought that was a really good series. Yeah. So I think it's great. It's also a good way to keep the Ninja Turtle franchise alive because it seems like there's always something to look forward to. They just keep coming out with all these different universes colliding. So I hope that they continue to bring us like a whole bunch of stuff. I'm here for it. I love it.
It's interesting, especially with like something with the Ninja Turtles franchise crossing over into those worlds, like especially Batman. That's a very, when I seen that, I was like, oh, how's that gonna how's that gonna work with the Ninja Turtles and Batman? Obviously, you know, if you know Batman as a character, obviously not phased by any beings, because I mean he deals with, if you follow his 80+ year career, he's dealt with a lot of different individuals.
Yeah, he has. So that was like nothing new. And I really enjoyed the Turtles' personality coming out with Batman, because you know, Batman, he knows what he's going to do. He's going to do it his way, and this is the way it's going to be done. And the little pushback that Leonardo was giving him, it was fitting. Yeah, they definitely made it work.
Yeah, no, they I was when I read that, I was like, who did Kevin Eastman have any, did he do any writing on that? Did he have any input on those series, or is it that just something that's like one of those things where it's like an alternate thing where someone else just takes the storyline?
I mean, his name is on it, right? Because he's a co-creator. But as far as in the writing, I don't think so. I don't think he was really involved. And all of these other ones, the Street Fighter, the Stranger Things, even Usagi Yojimbo. When I went to the Comic-Con in San Diego, I got to sit at a panel with Stan Sakai and his people, and he went back in telling a lot of us, because a lot of us, myself, I haven't been following Usagi Yojimbo forever. I'd like to. I want to know all the history, but I haven't. And so he kind of went back and talked about how, and when him and Mr. Eastman were talking, Kevin was just like, are you gonna do a comics with the Ninja Turtles and Usagi? And he was like, oh, I guess I just have to write the story, you know? So Kevin Eastman gave all a power, I guess, to Stan Sakai. He trusted him that he was gonna write a good story and take care of the turtles. So I wonder if everything else, like the Street Fighter, because you don't see Eastman's name on it other than the inside cover as a creator, if they just have to get licensed to write the story and then
approval, maybe.
And then it's all on them to, as long as you don't kill off the turtles without his permission, you know, and it's good to go. See, it's another good question. I would love to dissect his brain. Like, dude, what are you just in the last Ronin and that's it, you know? Like,
I'm wondering if he has anything like, I mean, man, I'm like giving you all these questions you can ask. I wonder if he has any other like future storylines or plans himself for, you know, Ninja Turtles as far as like the comic book series goes. Because you actually brought a good point up with like the Stranger Things, like that it works with Stranger Things because they deal with kind of like portals and dimensions and stuff like that. So if the storyline has anything to do with like, Dimension X and all that stuff, and if there's some weird thing, that's where the connection probably is. Because on Stranger Things, I forget, I think it's like the Russian government or some type of crazy lab people created this like portal almost to another world inadvertently, and that's where all these creatures started going through. So maybe that's why they had that crossover with the Ninja Turtles.
It's like, how the hell did y'all just come up with Stranger Things of all the stuff to cross over? But yeah, that makes sense.
And yeah, and Stranger Things is based on like the the 80s, so it's there's a lot of things they pull from different 80s. It's very 80s inspired. A lot of different movies, TV shows.
I do love that part. So. Like it's all based back in the day, and you know, the comics, the Turtles are back in the day Turtles. They all have red bandanas.
Yeah,
they kind of have like the Mirage Turtles look to it. In fact, they do have the Mirage Turtles look to it. So yeah, that whole time frame, I like that. It's pretty cool. Yeah.
And that kind of feeds into the alternate, like how, Kevin Eastman said, like, think of the Turtles as like alternate, universe type thing. So you can have like these turtles, like the red bandana turtles in this universe. And you can have like the different color bandana ones and these ones. And you could have, so actually that actually makes sense. I actually like that idea that they went back to that. Cause those are my favorite ones. That when a lot of people, some people don't like how they all have the same color bandana, but I like it. It seems like, they're more uniform in that sense.
Yeah, but
with the red bandanas.
You hated that. That's history. That's how they started. So you're basically saying you hate the history of the Ninja Turtles. They all had one color. That's how they started.
Yeah. I loved it. I love the fact that they did that, because I just remember the comics too, because that was like the thing that really popped back then. It was a black and white comic, but they had the bright red bandanas. That's the only thing that like kind of popped out on those comic books. So I think that I actually I'm more nostalgic when it comes to that aspect.
Yeah, we love the old school stuff. We love it. I mean, that's our passion. That's what's part of us and our who we are.
Yeah, definitely. Let's get into some stuff that you're because we kind of talked about this at the beginning. You're a lot more busier nowadays, but how's been the influence, the social influencing game? How's it been treating you?
Oh, it's been treating me really well. It's taken some time to. I think I've figured out how to balance everything, and that's mostly because I finally decided to make the jump to YouTube. I was scared. I was nervous because I was just thinking, dude, I barely have time to post on Instagram and TikTok, and creating long form is just, I don't have time for that. But I'm actually enjoying it because I feel like I get to share a little bit more about who I am, and people ask me about things in my collection and kind of stuff like that. I get to go in more in detail, in depth of that. And then other stuff that I do, people forget that I'm a retro gamer, or I'm a gamer. Like, I play video games all the time. I have a gaming collection, but my Instagram has really took a hard shift towards Ninja Turtles because that's where everything started coming from. So it was a lot for a while, like just trying to find time to post to YouTube and do the Instagram. And then because I was kind of like on a clock, right? I think you have a year or something like that to make partner on YouTube. So I was flipping out on that. It was a lot, but I got to a point where I'm balanced now. I do posts that are related to YouTube, so that way I'm not working twice, I guess, if that makes sense. And it's still fun. So as long as I'm having a good time, I got no complaints. I think this is really cool, and even more exciting that I'm meeting more people in these different communities, gaming communities, collecting statues, Ninja Turtles. It's just, it's it's been a fun ride still.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of give you some guff for my algorithm on my Instagram because all the Ninja Turtle stuff. There's other collectors that are popping up. I'm like, God, I'm like, damn it, I don't want to see all these people. But no, I'm joking. No, this. I mean, it opened my eyes to a lot more collectors out there. A lot of TMNT collectors more than anything. So, I mean, I kind of thank you for it, but don't thank you for it. But
dude, trust me, I know, like, anything that I look at, like, I think if I like it twice, dude, the algorithm just like boom shoves it. Like, for a hard minute, I was getting nothing but dog memes and stuff like that, which is great because I love dogs, but I also still wanted to see the other content that I like. But the algorithm was like, okay.
Yeah, my God, I'm only gonna follow. I'm only following one Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle collector, and that's obviously you. I'm not gonna follow all these other people. It is cool to see like everyone else's collections because I'm a collector, so I like I like to see like how everyone has their like their setup and stuff like that,
right?
And everything looks. But I'm not gonna follow it. I'm not gonna follow.
The algorithm. I mean, it just needs to chill out. Like, it's okay.
I appreciate
to like a lot of stuff. On YouTube that I did a podcast with statue collectors, and so there were a team, right? It was two of them. So once I got off the podcast, I liked and subscribed to both of them, and then I checked my homepage. I'm getting nothing but random ass statues that I don't care about. No.
See, that's the annoying part of social media is, well, nowadays anyway. Back in the day when like Instagram first started and stuff like that, you didn't have to worry about algorithms. Like whatever you like followed, that's what you see. You didn't see anything else, which made it a lot easier. But kind of like shifted to that. Like, how does, since you're you get heavier into like you said, making the longer form videos and stuff like that, have you seen like a challenge in trying to get your videos to show up more? Or do you feel like with the algorithm stuff, it's actually making it a lot easier for people to, see your content?
I'm not even that far yet on trying to dissect what the hell I'm doing. I've been focusing on, SEO and trying to help the algorithm push my content to where it needs to go. I'm still learning all of that stuff, and honestly, right now where I'm at with my channel, I feel I just have a better chance if it's something that's searchable now, versus like I want to post this Usagi Yojimbo figure because it's an San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and it's unique, it's different, but I don't know if that figure, in fact, I'm positive, I don't think that figure right now is like highly searched right now.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It'll probably, get minimal average views versus the Shredder's Revenge thing that I posted yesterday, which is a high searchable thing, even though it has nothing to do with what I posted, just because it's Shredder's Revenge. It did well. So maybe down the line when I can find some more time, I'll do more research and see if I can figure out the best way for the algorithm to help my content. But I'm still just trying to make sure that when I post it, it uploads. Like it goes to where it needs to go. Like that's I started really late, but I feel like I started when I needed to because I wasn't ready to invest the time. And now I think I've kind of figured out a way to manage everything. So I'm excited. And I like that people can find me on YouTube and see more of the content that they've been wanting to see and that you can't really see in short form, content. So I got a lot of videos that I want to post out, but
yeah,
when I get there.
and the cool thing about YouTube too is because of now they have that they have like the shorts type of thing where you do like or Reels or TikTok. They have their own
Yeah.
version of either one of those, so you can like edit your videos down to like um you know, to have those little clips and stuff like that. I think the thing I'm using now, I can actually like, you know, I can take this video and I can kind of like upload it to like whatever thing they have, and it can kind of
Yeah.
like, you know, slice it up in a way where it's like, you know, short form video, so like
And then
it attracts
boom.
more people.
Right?
Yeah. So, but I'm like I said, I'm not gonna try because I'm not really into doing it right now. Anyway, it's I'm still getting into like editing and all that stuff, which is a pain in
Trying
itself.
to figure that out in itself, you know, editing and all. I don't have a background in videography or media, none of that stuff. So everything that I do is just like trial and error. But
Me
I
too.
will say inspiring was this one YouTuber was just like, just post your content, because he was like, because your first 100 videos or more are going to be trash, but they get better, you know, but you don't know it until you keep posting. So I'm just put it out there, see what happens. It did well. It didn't. Oh, well, it's still like a history of content as I'm progressing. So
yeah, no, it makes sense. And like I actually kind of like had that same, you know, like thought pattern when I was like, you know, trying to figure this whole thing out. And, you know, obviously with the Chick Foley show, we just do audio. We don't do any video. So it's an audio podcast. There's no video element to it. And we don't edit. We don't like whatever we say on the show.
Easy, right?
It comes out and whatever happens. If we're laughing uncontrollably, it's not edited out. It's whatever. You're gonna have to listen to it. But it makes it a lot easier. But with YouTube, when you want to like deal with videos and stuff, they have a lot of things that like prevent you from like uploading your video. Like I just told you at the beginning, I usually have a theme song. That theme song is not an original. It's from a song. So like if I post this video, they're gonna take the video down because it has a song that is you know, already live out there. So like that's why, you know, with videos now you have to like kind of like upload them and then use kind of like those like generic, you know, theme songs, or they have like a whole page on YouTube where you can like select what music you want to add to your video. But I really don't, you know, care about the, you know, music and all that stuff. But yeah, I had to learn that. And that was like something that you have to learn too. So I was like, I'm trying to like, you know, figure this out a little bit better than it was before. And yeah, it's like I said, I'm not really into the social media game as much, but like for instance, I watch a lot of on Instagram. They show a lot of like mobile game ads and stuff like that.
Oh,
sure enough, guess who popped up? But a mobile game ad. This lady right here that I'm speaking to. It was for the Ninja Turtles game that's on Apple, on the Apple Store there. Actually, I actually downloaded it. It's actually really fun.
It's fun. Yeah, it is a fun game. Those ads are hard too because they want you to be creative, right?
Yep.
That's why they're hitting, you know, the influencers up. They want your spin and your following, but they're gonna whitelist it and push it themselves anyway. So like, okay, why don't you go ahead and put this together? And then you're like, oh, okay. And I put it together and I'm like, yay. And then they're like, okay, well, we need you to cut out blah, 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 and add blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, now it's not really my video, you know? It's you should have just told me exactly what you wanted. But at the end of the day, it's still creating the content. But yeah, those ads, I've had people like, they hit me up and they're like, can you stop posting your ads so much? I'm like, bro, I'm not, it's not even me.
No, it just pops up. It happens.
Just block it, you know, like I'm not even pushing my stuff. It's not even me, dude.
Yeah, you can like, you have that little X and it says don't have any more ads from this person. Yeah, just give
ignore, or I'm good. Yeah, I'm like, you don't have to message me. You can block it yourself.
That's kind of, actually, you brought up a good, kind of like a good topic. So when you are dealing with like, you know, we'll say like vendors or, you know, people that reach out to you that want you to promote their stuff, you know, even on like TikTok, when you see like a lot of the TikTok creators, they use if they do like comedy or whatever, they use their own like comedy style, to like, you know, present whatever product it is.
Right.
Is it, I mean, I'm assuming TikTok's probably a lot different from Instagram and stuff like that, but how is it like working with, you know, those like, you know, advertisers and stuff like that? Like you just said that you made a video and they just chopped it up. Like what, like, does that happen all the time, or is it just certain, you know,
No,
certain
yeah,
people you deal with?
well, I don't want to say smaller, but maybe we'll just say less popular. I don't know, like, so like working for like Nickelodeon and Paramount,
Yep.
you know, they
That's big
have
time.
specific guilines, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So anything that could be presumed or sexually related, showing too much skin, or they only have certain colors that they want on the screen. You can't wear white, or you know, stuff like that. Okay, the bigger companies, yeah, they'll send you like a full-on list of the do's and don'ts, and you try your best to follow it. But then they take your video, and it's not even the team that's giving you the feedback. It's the investors, all the people
Okay.
associated with it, right? And so the team, they are actually really supportive and really helpful, right? Because they need me to do well so they look good to their
Yep.
bosses, right? So they've been pretty good. Now, the less like popular companies, they didn't care. I put out an advertisement for this company, and I look, I looked at it 50 times. I was like, okay, they should like this, right? It's good to me. It should be good to them. I sent it to them. Sorry. I sent it to them, and they said it's great. They were like, we love it. We're okay. When can you post this? So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll post it. So I posted it. The moment after I posted it, I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting under a desk, which was why I didn't pick it up. And I was wearing shorts, right? But I was comfortable in my own home, thinking that the camera only had this much, and I had a glass desk. I was showing quite a
Oh
bit
boy.
of leg, right? A lot. Had Nickelodeon or Paramount or any company like that, they would have been like, girl.
Yeah, you gotta.
Now, this is not a small company. This is they're a decent sized company, but when I saw it, I was embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the comments came in like, I'll buy anything from that girl, like thighs, thighs, thighs. You know, I was like, that's just not who I am. That was not the best display of me. So had they been like a little bit more like stricter and probably had more of a team to go over the video, that would have been caught. So it really just depends on who you're working with.
Yeah.
When I did the ad for Splintered Fate and stuff like that, it was a full-on team. And I've done some other ads with some smaller, and they were just like, oh, that's great, just post it. You know, they just want the exposure. They don't care. So yeah, it really depends. But I'll tell you what, I learned a lesson. I need to thoroughly go through my own videos before I send them out.
Yeah, you definitely want to do like a quick review. Before you, it's like sending an email to someone. Like say you're writing like a very important email to someone. You want to proofread it before you send it, because you might have some like obviously misspellings, but something might come off a way that you don't want it to come off. So definitely always proofread.
Like, send it to my girlfriends too. Like, you know, I need my friends to just take a look at this. So I'm sure they would have. In fact, after they saw it, they were like, okay, we've got a couple things. And I was like, oh my God. Anyways, in that video, I am selling gaming equipment, not thighs.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you know, back at like I was gonna actually say like, you know, back in the early days of Instagram, there was a lot of like, you know, as far as like, well, I'll use because you know I'm in that realm. So like for professional wrestling, there was a lot of like women out there, like, you know, modeling and like wrestling shirts and all this stuff, but weren't sure if they were actually like legit like fans of wrestling. Probably weren't. So when I seen Chick Foley or Sheena, who I'm with now, she was kind of like in the beginning with like one of those big influencers as far as like women goes in professional wrestling, and like she was like posting pictures of herself and like shirts and all that stuff and gear and like so I'm like and then she started like posting like actual like comments on things that were happening and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, now I can tell who's like doing what. Like this person's just doing it just to get like likes and all that stuff and probably get like sponsors. This person's doing it, but they also have knowledge of it and they're actually fans of it.
Yeah.
You're definitely one in that realm. Like you aren't intentionally doing that stuff. You're just doing it because you're like, I want to make the best content possible.
Sure,
but at the same time, you're excited in the sense that I'm actually getting to do this. But then it's just like, oh crap, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to let this out. But I was actually going to say that video. What advertiser was it? Were you like transport to like the 80s? Was that the?
That was the Playmates. Their retro spring collection where they brought back the giant turtles and the sword shell turtles. Yeah,
I thought that was awesome. How long did that take to do?
That well, technically, that was a really big project, and so I think my first online meeting with them was in December, and at that time, I think I was clear to post it in end of April or early May. Right, so 5 months I was back and forth with the team at Paramount because they had already pitched their idea to their Playmate partners, Nickelodeon and Viacom and all that. So by the time they got on board with me and we gone through the contract, they told me what they wanted. I gave them my best interpretation of how I would do it, but what they wanted. And what they wanted was me going back in time, looking like I went back in time, and showing off the turtles. And that one was really difficult too, because my brand is like, I'm the Queen G and I'm in the lioness den. Like everything that I do happens in this space.
Yep.
And but I couldn't record in here because I have so much stuff that's not Nickelodeon, right?
Okay.
Nintendo stuff, anything that was not theirs couldn't be in the video. So
got it.
I was like, I'd have to tear the whole game room down, right? So they were like, "We'll just shoot it outside," and that was the whole thing. But they were really helpful. But yeah, that idea, that was not my idea. That was theirs.
Okay, that's actually pretty. That's why I usually I don't like to record on video in my room just because of that simple fact. I have so much stuff in there that's not like related to just and I don't want it to be like just in case I am interviewing someone that's with an alternate brand or whatever it is. I don't want to send the wrong idea. So I used to record from my office where I have all my collectibles and all stuff hanging everywhere.
That's the best way to do it, because like in the event like a big company wants to pick it up and share it, if you have stuff in the background, you can't do it. And I'm getting there. Like I'm really stubborn because this space, it's who I am. But Nickelodeon, I mean, they have like when I do reels, they have to cut it up because they don't want Dunder Mifflin or Nintendo in a Nickelodeon post, and I'm just like, bro, get over it. I'm not talking about Dunder Mifflin. I mean, who cares? It's a completely different audience, trust me. But it's a struggle, but it's still really exciting and really fun.
Plus, it's a great show. I mean, who doesn't love The Office. What's
You
wrong
mean
with
to tell me nobody at Nickelodeon or Paramount watched The Office, right?
I know exactly. Can we get a? Do you think there'll ever be a Office TMNT crossover? And if there isn't, who would you pick as each character? Who do you think would fit as each character? Not, you don't have to go through every single character in the Office because there's a ton of them, but we'll go with the main characters. Who would represent what character in the TMNT universe? Do you think?
Well, I think it would be fitting that Leonardo would be Michael Scott, but I think Michelangelo's personality would fit better to be
Yeah.
Michael Scott. Maybe Leonardo would be like John Halpert, and
Okay.
Raphael could be Dwight, something.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. I like that.
April O'Neil would be Pam Beasley. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I think we could make it work. I don't know about Master Splinter though, like
Who would he
Stanley.
be?
I don't
Maybe
know.
Stanley. Yes, that's actually. I like that. I like that idea. Stanley as that Splinter. That's actually a good one. That's actually just came out the top of my head because I actually never thought of a crossover between The Office and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but that'd be kind of funny because I see a lot of people do like parodies of The Office and stuff like that. And,
yeah, they should.
They do it for different characters, but that'd be pretty interesting if they did something like that.
Now you have another thing to pitch. I hope you're writing this down.
Well, you get to start pitching these when you see your best friend Kevin. Maybe
Kevin.
You can.
I call him Kev.
Hey Kev, can you I got an idea for you, Kev. Just pitching it now, but so as far as like your brand, obviously, what do you? I mean, obviously you're doing big things now, and it's starting to like kind of like in the beginning, big things popping, as they like to say. But is it where do you see this going? Are you gonna do you feel like you're gonna take it the next step further because you already kind of have like those big partnerships already? Do you think it's? Do you see it going bigger, or do you?
Where do you go after this? But I will say. Actually, no, I won't say because I don't know if I should legally say that. But I will say that I've continued my partnership with Paramount. But when I think about like where do you want to go? Like what are you doing here? This is just me sharing stuff that brings me joy. So ultimately there really is no end goal, like, oh, I did it. I mean, I think doing a deal with Playmates and Nickelodeon is okay. You've done it. But when I was trying to think of like, let's set another goal, right? Because I don't like to be complacent. What would you like to do? And I think that something that would be really cool would be if I could get to the point where Comic Cons would invite me not to be like, oh, come up, take my picture, but to sit at like a guest panel and conversate about stuff like this, right? The Ninja Turtles and what they got going on, because they do that all the time with YouTubers, right? They'll just have, you can come and go to the a panel of YouTubers talk about stuff and people want to hear them. So I think that would be cool if I could get invited. Mm-hmm. They paid for my flight, paid for my hotel, right? And paid for me to be there. Would be neat. Now, is that possible? I don't know, but I think it's a good goal to have, right? Like getting gifts and sponsorships and brands is neat because it supplements my income, but like something like for me, like that's like, hey, I think that's an interesting goal to have, and hopefully I'll come up with other goals as I continue to move forward with this and see what type of opportunities are out there that I'm not even aware of.
Yeah, I mean, I think like the goal with that too is to not only maybe not be invited, but like maybe have those like you said, kind of like sponsor you at those like events. Like here we have, you know, this person, maybe even like maybe not be in the like panel, maybe like ask questions at like one of the at one of the, be like a, you know, not a reporter but like a journalist or
Heck
something like that.
yeah.
And do like interviews maybe with like
Like
with
after
people on
the
the panel, that type of
panel,
stuff.
Kev would come over and
Yeah.
I would talk to Kevin like, dude, this is gonna go on my page. Like, I think that would be awesome. I'm still working my way up there, but I do know that Tom Waltz is a fan of the Queen, and I was eating dinner after one of the days at the con at Granite Con, and I'm at the bar eating my food, minding my business. I had a great time waiting in line, trying to get everyone's signatures, including Tom Waltz. And then he just comes over, like he ran over. I saw him in my peripheral. And I was like, oh no, he's not coming to me, is he? Like, holy crap, like what do I do? And he ran over and he was like, I just want to let you know I'm a huge fan of yours. And I was like, oh shit, like, are you serious, bro? Like me? He was like, yeah, dude, I love your content. And I was like, this is weird. Like, I'm nobody without, you know, him and their team with Mr. Eastman. But it is nice that if I could get to the point where like the last Ronin crew you know, knew of me or knew who I was. When I was at the Comic-Con, I was talking to one of the marketers for the Loyal Subjects, the toys, the figures, and their Ninja Turtle line. And dude, he was excited, right, to talk to me. He's like, oh yeah, Queen, let's talk. And Ben Bishop from The Last Ronin, the guy who killed the turtles, comes up and he starts talking to Dude, and then Dude introduced me, and I was like, oh yeah, what's up, Ben? Like, I was just playing around. And Ben was like, do I know you? I was like, no, but you should. So if I could get it to a point where he did, right, like that far into the turtle community, I think that's a huge accomplishment.
No, that's I mean, that's and that's where it is, right? Like, you know, just the recognition piece is probably like, you know, what everybody's, you know, goal is at some point. Like, obviously, you know, all the other stuff will fall in line, like the deals and all that stuff, and you know, money hopefully.
But to be respected by them, I mean, I'm low on the totem pole as far as like the TMNT world, but I do help promote exposure, you know, to some of the content. So I feel like, you know, they can just buy me dinner a night or two. I mean, I don't think I'm asking for much.
You're bringing like, I mean, you're bringing eyes to the, you know, to the product. Obviously, it's not like, you know, if the Queen G disappears, like, you know, nobody's gonna check out TMNT like at all. It's like that's not gonna happen. But at the same time, it's like you're, you know, one of the premier influencers for them. And
but
obviously,
also
like obviously
it's people like me too, right? Who adore the Ninja Turtle world, right? I mean, all of us, we help pay their paychecks.
Yeah, I mean, you know, going to watch the movies, buying the figures, buying the merchandise, all that stuff. I almost wore my I mean, it would have made sense, but I think I mentioned this on the last show that we had together. I had the NECA April O'Neil, the from the first movie.
Oh yeah,
the first April O'Neil, as she likes to call herself. It came with the Channel 3 badge, like the press badge, like with her face on it, and it's like it's signed by her, by Judith. I was gonna wear it because just to be like goofy and be like a, you know, journalist interviewing you, but I thought that was stupid, so I didn't do it. But I think like just like that stuff like that. Like I'm not like the biggest, you know, Ninja Turtles collector, but I do collect some like the movie figures, because that's, you know, that's super nostalgic for me. That's, you know, I love the movies. The Playmates figures, not so much the new Mutant Mayhem figures. I'm not, you know, too into those, but I think they look pretty cool. I'm more of the nostalgic person, so like anything with the red bandanas, anything with, like I said, movie oriented. I'm all for, and the old Playmates actually. Not big on the open shell Playmates ones. Do you like those ones? The ones
Storage
that like,
shell.
yeah, like the shells open up and you can put like a bunch of like weapons and stuff in it. Those are, I feel like they're too like bulky. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's a great time to be a collector. I'll tell you that much.
Oh
And a fan
no,
of.
no, it's not.
It's not a great time to be a collector.
No, it's an expensive time.
Oh
to
yes,
be
it's
a
definitely expensive.
collector.
I should say that. Yes, it is. It's expensive. So I always give if you do have the means, definitely do what you need to do.
I don't know if I have the means, but I'm gonna make it happen because the way that NECA is coming out with all of this nostalgic line of turtles is amazing. When I saw everything on display at Comic-Con, I lost my mind because I was just thinking, how am I going to afford this? Because they're not a lot of that stuff they're not selling individually. They sell them in packs. So you have to get the whole damn pack. Which is fine, but yeah, I'm the same way. I'll buy the NECA stuff because they're doing their version of the old school stuff. So like my heart, is attached to the old school stuff. So when the Secret of the Ooze set came out, I have that. The Turtle 3 Samurai set, I have that. And I really only want to just get Donatello, but NECA will not allow it. You have to get the whole pack. And then they've got all these. NECA is going on a frenzy where they are they're continuing the line of figures from the Archie comics back in the day. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. So you are attacking every 40-year-old right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Their pockets. Yeah. So I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. I do like the Eastman and Laird NECA line that they have, like with the
and they're spot on. Cool. Like they look just like the comics and the movies. And see, that's the only thing about the Super Sevens. I like the look that the Super 7 is doing. It's similar to the original Playmates, just a more modern version.
Yeah.
But the NECA and the detail, I mean, it's so different. It's so good. It's hard to pass.
Yeah, I do have the set of I never know how you pronounce it. I know it's the Loyal Subjects, but they have like the best action series with the Ninja Turtles. And they do have one where it comes with a comic book and they're individually colored.
Mateus Santaluco.
Yeah. I have all four of the Donatello, obviously, Raphael, Leonardo, and Michelangelo.
I have Donatello of if you're talking about the Loyal Subjects IDW run of Santaluco's version. I have the colored Donatello, and then because they had to buy the sets, I have the full set of the black and white Santaluco version of those turtles. And I'm really just getting into his turtles in the IDW comics because I started really late, because I wanted to finish the Archie comics in its entirety. But I mean, those figures are spot on. And that was another thing that I said in the video, because fun story, the Loyal Subjects hit me up a while ago, and wanted to partner up. And the figures, I was just like, right? So I was like, I'll pass. So because I didn't really like, they didn't look like good quality product to me. So I didn't want to slap my name on it. I didn't want to push anything that I would not buy myself. But then they came out with these freaking Santaluco IDW version, and I was like, oh my God. So I hit him up like, yo, you guys want a partner, dude, let's do it, right? And they were just kind of like, no, girl, go away. So I was like, yeah, I blacklisted myself with them. But then I saw a dude at Comic-Con and he was like, "Oh no, I'll get you back in." So I'm hoping that I'm back in because after talking to him, they are gonna run with this IDW run for as long as they can. They've got a lot of characters that they're gonna put out. And I just think that's really, really, really cool because for whatever reason, IDW characters they just haven't done them, and now the Loyal Subject is doing them, so it's cool.
Yeah, I like the like I got the it's called like the best of whatever, so it's like TMNT best of Leonardo, IDW comic book and figure set. That's what it is. It's like a box and it has like a comic book with all of Leonardo stories in it. From IDW and well, I have pretty much I have all 4 of them. But I thought it was a cool set because on the inside, like it's good for display too because they're each box is the color of the turtle, but the figure itself is the original, red bandana, which hits me twice. So I love the like the red bandana. Plus, it has the the pale of the newer versions with the different colors. And I think they look pretty cool. I mean, they have that kind of like feel of both, like the old cartoon as well as like the old comic book style. They kind of like mashed the two together pretty good. So that's why I picked up all 4. I have like a bookcase and I have them all displayed obviously next to each other. And it looks like it pops because of the colors of the box and everything. But yeah,
I think that's their best run so far. Like these are their best figures that they're coming out with.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited for what's to come with the Loyal Subjects. Yeah, by the way, Loyal Subjects, hit me up. I'm just saying.
Oh man, yeah, hit her up. Or hit me up. Any one of us, hit everyone.
Hit us up. But,
before I let you go, one more question. So, on my last interview, I had a gentleman who was also in the wrestling community and stuff like that, and we were talking about content creation, but for Black people in content creation. I think we talk about this too. A lot of anime is huge with Black people, with the younger audience anyway. And we talked about like Blurred Con. If you ever heard of that, with the it's a place where Black content creators get together and stuff like that to trade ideas, network, all that type of stuff. I definitely want to go to something like that. Do you feel the question I had for him was like, we had kind of like a conversation about, do you feel like, content creation is it there for, for Black people that are in this realm? Because we came upon a realization. I think he kind of said it too. He thinks I'm the only Black wrestling figure collector that he's ever seen on the internet. Yeah, because I mean, I see, like everyone else. Yeah, I might be. I don't see anybody in my algorithm or just searching that looks like me that collects wrestling figures. I think I'm the only one out there. So he's like, there has to be a way for us to get like that out there. Do you feel like that's like a thing? Like, do you see other Black TMNT collectors out there at all? I mean, I don't. You're the only one I know of.
There is, yeah.
I've seen anyway.
I do know a small group, and it's interesting because they're a group, right? Like they don't live far from each other, and they go to Comic-Cons together. And there's maybe like 6 or 7 of them, something like that. But outside of that group, no. And I'm pretty sure, they got together because once they, found each other, they were like, oh snap, we should hang out and kick it. Actually, no, I lied. It is a small group, and there's not 7 of them. There's like 4 of them.
Yep.
The other guys are white guys, but no, I definitely think that part of the reason why I might get more exposure compared to other Ninja Turtle collectors is just because there's just a saturation of just white males, you know, that are doing it. And so I'm different. And it baffles me. I mean, it shouldn't, but it's still weird to hear, like, on every single post that I do, there's at least one person that says, oh my God, she's Black and she's female and she likes Ninja Turtles. And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, bro, I've been here, you know, like, but they don't, I guess, I mean, I don't know any other, I know one other Black female Ninja Turtle. Well, she's kind of like a collector of multiple things, but as far as Black and in the female and in the Ninja Turtles, and she's one of my good friends. Like, we hit it off, right? Because I was like, what? When we met. So we became good friends, but there's I don't know if it's not that there's a lot of us. I think there's a few of us, but I want to say just either not knowledgeable on knowing that if you post your content that you might find other people like you, and people might find you, right? Or just kind of quiet, like how I was for several years. I mean, I didn't really start getting noticed until like 2020. And I didn't start posting until 2019. So I mean, imagine if I had started posting when a lot of other people did, like in 2015 and stuff like that, and blew up. So I know that they're out there. They probably just don't know that we're out here too. Because I had no idea there were all these different communities. I had no clue. But where do you go to find that if you don't know?
Yeah, that's the thing too. Like we were kind of talking about that. Like, is it something like, are you ashamed? Do you think people are just gonna be like, you know, what the hell are you doing? Why are you collecting it? Like, is it something like that with us, like, where it's just like, you know, the anime world's blowing up like crazy.
It's huge.
But like when it comes to like other aspects of like Black people in the nerd culture, it's like there's no real, like, I don't want to say outcry, but there's really no, like, you know, outpouring of like, hey, we're out here too. Like we like this. It's very strange. It's very weird to be like, I'll see like a lot of Black content creators for wrestling, like just like to, you know, podcasters and stuff like that. There's tons that I follow and that follow me, so I'm aware of them. But as far as like collectors, I don't see any. I think like literally like I think I'm like the only one that's out there, or maybe there might be a couple more out there. But other than that, it's strange.
You might be, world. But I don't think it's kind of, it might have to do. I can only speak for myself, right? Female, Black, where I live, it's not like I see other collectors or Black people talking about Ninja Turtles and Nintendo every day, right? So I just keep to myself, right? It wasn't until I just happened to go on Instagram, saw a post, responded, and I was like, dude, I got that. And then the Ninja Turtle community just brought me in. They were like, you need to join this group, and this group, and this group. And when I did, they welcomed me right in. You know, they were like introducing and making sure that people were speaking to me. If they hadn't done that, I probably wouldn't be sitting here, because I wouldn't know that there are other people out there that share the same passion. And then how am I supposed to find, if I go and start a group right now on Facebook for Black female Ninja Turtle collectors, it's going to be me and one other chick. How do I get that out there? You know, like, how do they know to find that? Companies like Black Girl Gamers and Noir and stuff like that is set up so that we can share, you know, that type of energy with people like us, which is cool. But I think collecting it's a little bit different. I think I don't know if it's like an insecurity issue, or if you feel shame for spending our money on this kind of stuff. We don't talk about it.
That's what I feel. That's what I feel it is.
I don't know. I walk into my room and I just be like, wow, this is an impressive room.
Yeah, sometimes you're like when you're in it and you're collecting and you're buying all this stuff and you're like, oh man, this is great. But then there's those days where you like you said, you walk into your room and you're like, what the hell? What am I doing? What am I doing with myself? But then at the same time, like, for me with collecting, it's more or less like I try to collect with like nostalgia and memories that I get from things. The same thing obviously with like, music and movies and stuff like that. But with collecting, it's like you have that like thing and you can always look at it and go, oh, I remember this time in my childhood. I remember I was here when I seen such and such, that type of thing. That's why I like collecting, and I think that's where the message should be. Like with if you are a collector out there, it should be like, hey, you're not collecting, you're not wasting your money. You're collecting because obviously everyone has their own reasons, but the main root of it is like memories and nostalgia and things like that. And when you look around your room and you're like, oh man, it gives you a good feeling. It brings you to like a safe space essentially too. Like, that's how I look at it anyway. And that's a message I want to get out there. I just don't know how to do it as far as just to bring more of those people out.
Take a lot.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to do.
That the other day, I usually when I wake up, feed my dogs. I usually have like my breakfast and my coffee. It's like in the kitchen, but it's kind of like at a bar area.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, the other day I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my coffee in the other room. And the other room is where I keep my statues and my turtle collection and all that. And I was sitting down having my coffee and I just really felt good, right? I just started to have like this flow of happy childhood memories, and I just really felt comfortable in that space. And I think that's also part of the reason too why it brings collectors so much joy is because when we're looking at all these things, there's history to it, whether it was you remember going to Blockbuster with your family and renting the first Ninja Turtle game and bringing it home and whooping ass, or the first time you went to the Turtle movie and you got to see the Shredder. I was like, I need to have breakfast in here more often because I feel like this room knows me more than anyone on this planet. It's like a piece of me. And I felt good. And I don't know why we don't share that more, that side of it. Like, if you want to get to know me, you need to understand why this room is important. It's not like a big, history lesson. It's just, it's history.
Yep. And you can, I think that's one of the things too, is you can speak to what you collect. Like you're going to go like, here's the reason why I got this. Here's the reason why I have this. I think that's something that can definitely help out. And I think it's just a way of trying to present it in a way where you can like, make it comfortable for people, to also share their collections. I'm in a lot of communities where, we share our collections and we're like, we talk about these things and all that stuff. But like, as far as like I said, with Black collectors, it's kind of hard to like get them out of the woodwork. And I'm trying to do it. I'm kind of like taking it on my shoulders, be like, hey, where the hell are you? I need more of you out here to
it's a big
represent.
Task. It's not easy, but
I'm gonna try it.
They're out there, and I wonder too, like I do know this one young Black man who is a wrestler figure collector, and he pops up every now and then. He posts, and it's almost kind of like, I don't know, like if you ever follow someone and they'll post, and they stop posting for a while, and then they'll come back and post some more, and then they'll disappear again. And if you know anything kind of like people's patterns, I interpret that as things are going good, post, and then something, in your life just prevented you from being involved in social media. You need to focus on something else. So you kind of can understand that, you know, everyone is going through some type of thing. Then when you come back to posting, okay, stuff's good again. If we could get more of us together, right, then some of those times when you can't post, you can still talk to other content creators and, you know, collectors who are probably going through the same stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, not to, you know, a lot of the times it's like, you know, you have FOMO on things. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with it can be expensive, like we talked about earlier, and you know, the newest thing comes out and you might want it, and then you know, you see other people are getting it and then you don't have it, and then that can
Now I
pop up
look like
like,
a
oh,
sucker. Yeah.
and now I can't, you know, I can't post about it because I don't have it and all that stuff. So I like there was one like last year, there was I think it was like it was SDCC, I think last year. And there was like they were revealing like left and right, like tons of stuff. Like NECA was revealing stuff. There was a ton
Yeah.
of like wrestling figures that came out, like Mattel, you know, created the they have a they have their Mattel Creations website where they
Yeah.
have like Mattel, you know, exclusive figures, like they have
Yeah.
like Barbie and WWE and all that stuff. So like they had a lot of that stuff, and then they had like the regular, you know, store line stuff that you would buy in the store and all that. So like I remember in our like we have a Chick-fil-A show Facebook group where we like all collect stuff like that. I remember like just like being inspired and going in and saying, hey, there was a lot of stuff that was revealed today, a lot of things that are coming out. Don't, you know, collect how you collect. Don't feel like you
Go
have to keep up.
crazy.
Don't keep up with the
Yeah.
Joneses. If you can't keep up, that's fine. Like you're not here to impress, you know, anybody with your collection, and you're here to, you know, share what you have, and that's pretty much it. And I felt like inspired to do that sometimes, and that you kind of like brought that out. Like that happens. Like someone could
Oh,
be
it
posting
does.
left and right, and then something happens where you know they might not have the money to buy something, or something might happen else in their life, and they just like, you know, stop
Yeah.
posting for some reason. And like you said, we need to like be able to have that communication and say, hey, how come you haven't been posted? Or, you know,
Right. Yeah.
you do
Because
something like that.
you kind of get to know people, you know, through posting and meeting them. And I know I felt that kind of pressure. I had tickets to go to Comic-Con. This was my first time, my first year. So I didn't know about preview night and all that. And then the preview night, I didn't know about that. So I got tickets Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I had some family emergency stuff come up. So I couldn't go Friday. I couldn't go, no, I couldn't go Friday. But I was able to get a flight out Saturday and seeing everyone posting all the stuff at Comic-Con, right? That
Yeah.
I was supposed to be at.
Yeah.
And people are hitting me up like, Queen, well, why haven't you posted? You know, it's weird, but you feel that kind of pressure like, oh my
Yeah.
God, why am I not there taking pictures, posting this stuff, buying it? I don't even want it, but I want
Yeah.
it just so I could post about it. It's like an unspoken pressure
Yeah.
that we don't, you know, really talk about it. And but if you're in a good community of people, then you can. And at the end of the day, dude, no one really cares, right? If
Yep.
you post something really cool, people are going to be excited about it probably for about 5 minutes and then they move on. So I don't even know why we put this type of like pressure on ourselves to keep up with stuff. Just keep up with, you know, yourself and what's true
Yep.
to you and what's important to you. But if you're not around the right people to talk about it, it can be really stressful.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think you ended it perfectly there. I don't think we can go on after that. That was a perfect
That's what I do.
explanation there. But definitely want to thank you for joining again. This was great.
Always.
Hopefully we can do it again before you, you know, completely blow up and you're inaccessible ever.
Oh,
By next,
absolutely. Whatever the next big thing is, whether it's TMNT or the 40th anniversary, I would love to get together with you and chat some more.
yeah, definitely. And obviously, you know, put your socials out there. Where can we find the
Oh,
queen?
the Queen G can be found all across the board. The Queen G 22, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that.
Awesome. Like I said, we'll end it there. And thank you, everybody, for listening. And hopefully I'll have the video up soon so you can actually watch as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, thank you for listening. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.